I'd like to begin by providing you a very warm welcome to our career advancement training, one of the most favorite training sessions that I like to teach. And the reason that is because these are skills that you simply don't learn elsewhere. The skills that you're going to learn today are skills that were inspired by managers through thousands of interviews and wishing that the candidate in front of us would give us the knowledge and the skill set and the teachings that we require in this course. We really thought of this course in reverse order. What does a hiring manager or what does a recruiter look for? And that's the information that we're going to be providing to you today. So, very, very excited to begin with that. We'll begin our presentation by letting you know the purpose of our presentation and the purpose of why you're here, why you're taking this training session is to learn the skills that you're going to need to take that next career step. Again, it's in that reverse order. We're going to teach you in a manager's or in a recruiter's perspective, and we're going to turn you into that perfect candidate. Our plan or agenda for today comprises of 4 topics. First one of those 4 is cover letter, and that will begin by going through the goals. We'll go through the debate of whether you should or shouldn't have a cover letter, some of the templates and breakdowns that you can use, and we'll wrap things up by talking about myths and common mistakes for cover letters. That'll take us to the next section in which we'll talk about resumes. Once again, we'll go through the goal first. We'll talk about different types and templates. We go through a pretty extensive breakdown of each section in the resume. Followed by that, we'll proceed to talk about interview. And in that section, we'll start to talk about how to be able to prepare for an interview, dealing with different types of questions, whether it's asking them or answering them. We'll talk about what types of things you can do at the end of the interview, go through a thank you letter, and followed by tips and tricks. The last topic of discussion we have is keys to success. And in this section, we'll go through what types of keywords you want to be able to include in all 3 steps before it. We're going to go into a little bit of an introduction to self-selling, the importance of social media, and the final topic of discussion will be about writing tips. Next, we'll talk about the also important action step of our presentation, in which we'll tell you about the payoff. Once again, that payoff for you listening today is to advance your chances of getting that next career step, of getting that next job that you may be applying for, that dream job that you may be applying for. My call to action or my expectations of you is number 1, to take notes. We will go through a lot of information today, and definitely very important for you to be able to take notes and retain that information. Number 2, practice what you learn. Practice the things that we're going to go through today in the preparation step of your job application. And number 3, always remember that you have to customize every step of your resume, and we'll go through the importance of that here in a little bit. Before we jump into that cover letter section, I want to introduce you to the job application process. And more importantly, I want to introduce you to the goal of each step. And the importance of understanding that goal is that we need to put our cover letter or our resume or the interview into the perspective to accomplish its individual goal. The goal of your cover letter is solely to get the recruiter to look at your resume. The goal of the resume is to get you to the interview. And the goal of the interview is to get you to the job. Now, a lot of times there's a little bit of confusion there that candidates may draft a cover letter or a resume with too much information, and they're trying to crowd it in there because they may be misinformed that the goal of those steps is to get you the job. It is not. The goal of those steps is to lead to that next section, is to lead to that interview, and then the goal of that is to take you to that job. So keep the goal, and we'll review this before going into every section, but keep that goal in mind, and it'll help you to understand why we construct it in that way.